Well, hello once again, ladies and gentlemen. You have made it to Pickup Lines. This is the talk show in a car where we have interesting guests, compelling stories. We talk about life, and you just never know who's going to be sitting in the car, and you never know what exactly they're going to say. And I love everything about it. I do know this is Jeanette Lira, who, among other things, you're an entrepreneur, you're a therapist, you're a coach, et cetera, et cetera. And we'll get into all of that here in just a little bit. But thank you for being on Pickup Lines. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
So I always like to start back and work our way forward. All so right. let's begin with are you a local girl?
I am actually born and raised in Houston, Texas. Okay. Yeah, we came down to San Antonio when I was 17, moved in close to the great old of Helotes, graduated from O'Connor, and been there ever since.
You're an O'Connor Panther.
I am.
What brought your family to San Antonio?
That is a great question. So what happened was my mother had this pool. She had this pool that she had to be in San Antonio. My sister had
not like a swimming pool or something.
No,
like a tug.
Pool.
Like, okay, I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah, like this pool. Like something was telling her, like, hey, you need to live in San Antonio. And my sister had been living here going to Incarnate Word.
Right.
She's now a nurse practitioner. But she was like, we just got to go. Sorry, we're packing up. We're leaving. We're going. And I was like, I was a junior in high school. Like, I thought my life was over.
Oh, wow. So you left. Okay. Yeah, that's an interesting time to leave school and leave town altogether.
Yes, exactly. So when we got here, though, I want to say maybe 2 months into being here, we find out that her father, my grandfather, had lymphoma cancer. And he was living in Victoria, Texas, but for treatment had to live in San Antonio.
Crazy. My late mother, who passed from leukemia and other blood cancer, was living in Victoria, ultimately came to San Antonio for treatment and ultimately passed away. But so I have a soft spot in my heart for people who've gone through that. So it's at the time, it's what, your parents, your sister, you had a brother, obviously. Was it so it's the five of you? So
yes, it was the five of us. But my sister is 10 years older than me, so she's
she's already here.
Yeah,
you said it on Incarnate Word. Okay, I see. Okay. So you get here, you get settled in at O'Connor. You finish that up.
I did.
Right. So what year did you graduate?
I actually, I always forget because I was supposed to graduate in 2002. Okay. And I graduated in 01.
Because you're that smart.
Yes, and because I hated O'Connor. Sorry, O'Connor, I do love you now. Okay. But
at the time,
I completely hated it because I went from Houston, which is very diverse, right? I know. Very diverse. And then I show up at O'Connor and they have a barn.
It's an agriculture, big FFA, right? Agriculture school, yes.
There's a barn.
Yeah.
With big trucks and lots of people with big trucks and big tires.
Sure.
And it was culture shock.
Right, and you were just uprooted from your high school existence and dropped in Helotes. Yeah. Well, you obviously made it and you survived. And you said there's no hard feelings toward O'Connor now.
I actually like O'Connor. I claim it.
Very good. Yeah. Very good. Okay. So out of high school, where did you go next?
After high school, so I graduated in 3 years and immediately got my nail tech license because, yes, I did nails for about 10 years while I was going to grad school. You taught at some point, didn't you? I did.
Okay.
I did.
What did you teach?
So I got my alternative teacher certification. Okay. And that was before I believe I started grad school. And I taught ages, I think I did 3rd grade 1 year, and then I did PPCD and special education the 2nd year, and then I was done.
Because
teaching was not for me.
It was not for you.
No. I had to make a bigger impact, and teachers make a huge impact.
Yes, they do.
Huge.
Yes, they do.
My mom was a teacher. My dad was a teacher. I was a teacher. But there was more.
I tried to substitute teach many years ago when I was much younger, and I realized the same thing. My mother was a teacher, but I was like, I don't think I'm cut out for it.
No.
It takes a special person to do that.
Yeah, there's just so much red tape, too. Like, you can only help so much, and you have to, follow the rules, and I've never been really good at following rules.
So you were a counselor as well?
I was a school counselor for 8 years in Northside.
Northside ISD, right. So you kind of stayed in that Northside NISD area, right? So you're doing all those things, going through life, adulthood, and all that stuff. And I know 2013 comes around.
Oh, gosh, yes.
And I guess essentially, correct me if I'm wrong, your life has kind of been defined by, pre-2013 and now post-2013.
Yes, and it's been a dramatic shift.
So tell me what happened in 2013.
Sure. So I got engaged in 2013. And I also lost my brother in 2013. He had bipolar disorder, and he hid it very well from the public. He was just like electrifying. Like, people just wanted to be around him.
Right.
He was a pretty cool kid. And he was in a manic phase and just crossed the line and couldn't come back.
So let me just say this, full disclosure. I knew your brother.
Yeah.
And you know that, obviously.
Yeah.
Not well enough by any means to know that he was suffering and had that.
Yeah, he hid it well. We all did.
But did you ever in your mind think that he would be capable of, like you said, just not being able to come back?
Yes. I think I always knew that he's going to run out of lives. And he did. I always said that he was like a cat. He had 9 lives. And after that 9 life, like, there was just no coming back.
Not everybody can relate, obviously, to the loss of a sibling. And he was younger than you, right?
Yeah, he was 27 and I was 29, 2 years apart.
So what do you remember about, as painful as that time had to have been, just what do you remember about that time? And obviously we'll get into what you've done since then, because you changed your life in dramatic ways after that. Do you think that had you not lost him, that you might have been capable of some of the things that you've done now? As morbid and as terrible as that might sound, that it took something like that to make you the person you are today? Yeah,
no, I don't think I would be here in this car talking to you about all of this if that didn't happen.
Yeah, which is terrible. I know it's terrible, and you certainly mourn your brother to this day.
Yeah.
And I want to get into some of that here in just a little bit. We're just getting started with Jeanette Lira here, who, again, is one of these people. I always say that I say their business card is like 8.5 by 11 because you do a lot of different things. But we're going to talk more with Jeanette here, get into how she turned her life around, if you will, after losing her brother, and a whole lot more. So stick around. Pickup lines, more to come right after this. We're back on Pickup Lines here at the talk show in a car with Jeanette Lira, who we were just talking about the year 2013. You said you got engaged.
I did.
Which is great. Celebratory. Yay.
It was.
And then you lose your brother. Unexpectedly, or you said kind of maybe you weren't shocked when it happened?
It was unexpected that, I mean, it was so final.
Right.
But he's always been a risk taker, right?
Yeah.
He was always a risk taker, so you never knew what was going to happen.
So at what point after all of this is happening, how did it impact your relationships, your life, the direction you were taking? You said you were a nail tech at the time. You had done some teaching, some counseling in Northside. Maybe you were content, I don't know, at the time. But you're shook to your core.
Yes.
So what happens next? So
I got shook. All these things happened all at once, and I felt completely lost. Who I used to be was this quiet, like, I'm going to go to church every Sunday. I'm going to obey and listen and do all the things I'm supposed to do. And then my whole life got redefined overnight. And I had to step into a role that I had never been accustomed to.
Yeah.
And I mean, at the beginning, it was rough.
Like, and you're in your 30s, you said, by this point, right?
I was 29 when he died.
Okay.
Yes.
So, not the easiest time ever just to make a life change or two.
No. And I made a lot of them.
Yeah? So what's the first thing you did?
So I actually my brother died in October. I got married in December, and then the following December, I actually got divorced. We were actually only married 1 year. And I think that happened because I was at a point in my life where I was trying to explore myself.
Right.
And trying to understand myself. And when you have a partner that hasn't done that or isn't doing it, it really pulls you apart. And so it was at that time where I was like, I just have to move on completely. And I need a clean slate, and I need to just figure out who I am.
So, I mean, you were talking about like a 13, 14 month span of your life. I mean, that's about as tough as it can get, right?
Yeah. And then after the divorce is where I actually started doing like the actual work. I feel like I was kind of still trapped in a box, like trying to figure out, like, am I mourning? Am I moving on? Who am I? Like, this doesn't make sense anymore, the person that I used to be. And I was anxious, I was depressed, I was having like stomach issues, and I had no idea why. And it was me, it was my emotions. And a lot of women, I know this for sure, maybe even men, we internalize our emotions, and then it comes out in some sort of sickness. And I was tired of literally being sick.
Physically, emotionally, there's a lot going on here. Yeah. So then it obviously turned. Do you remember that day? Was it a person? Was it a divine something that happened to you where you get out of those depths and you realize, okay, it's going to be okay?
It was very similar to like that pool my mom had.
That your mom had to come to San Antonio.
Yes, it was very similar to that. It was just something telling me, internally telling me, whether it's our God above, whether it's energy or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
It was something telling me, okay, Jeanette, you need to get divorced, quit your job, and figure it out. And so I did.
In the most respectful way. I mean, were you feeling like disappointed in yourself in terms of like your marriage had not worked? You were 30 now, and you maybe hadn't achieved the things that you wanted to achieve in life at that time. Did you turn to somebody for help at that time?
I did. I turned to many people, friends, mentors. I got my own counselor. I am a counselor, but I got one. It's important to have. I actually talked to the priest at the church. I talked to a lot of people, and it was just, I was disappointed. It was kind of like a disappointment. I was going through a lot of that, like that failure. Yeah. That like, oh my gosh, I failed. Like, I'm never going to get this right. I'm going to be alone forever. I'm never going to make money because I also quit my job. And so I had all of that piling up, but it could have been my old self and the avoidance that I used to do. That kind of like, oh, well, this is a problem now. Let me just push it back here and I'll figure that out later. Yeah. That's what kind of kept me going. So avoidance can be a good and a bad thing, but eventually I had to face what I avoided later on. Right,
you did. And you've ultimately since built what I would consider like the Jeanette Lira empire.
Working on it.
Several different companies or different brands, if you will, that you have. How many do you have? Like
it's 3 brands.
Okay.
With like multiple things underneath them.
Because there's the counseling component, or the therapist component, there's wellness, you do a podcast.
Yes, I do.
I'm sure I'm leaving something else out.
Yes. We mentor professional counselors also.
So you help counselors.
Yeah, I do.
Like set up their business and operate.
We do that, and we are supervisors for incoming therapists. We partner with Texas A&M, San Antonio, with their intern program, and we have interns coming in and learning from us. All kinds of things that we're doing.
So here we are then, roughly a dozen years removed from that. I guess, is that the lowest?
Crazy.
That's the lowest you've ever been?
Yeah. No, I was a zombie for a little while. Like, it was not good. Like, drinking a lot. Like, it was bad. Yeah.
Really?
Completely out of what I used to be. So I think I was like, nothing. It was like a calm, steady, like, movement, and then like the storm came and like shook it all up, and then it was like calm and steady, sort of, and then it like moves up and down. It's a journey of life.
Did you feel alone?
A lot of times I think I did. It wasn't until actually the past maybe 5 years of my life that I realized that I don't have to do it alone or feel alone. Yeah, because I think a lot of us kind of take that on because we don't want to show others that we failed or tell them all the things that we failed at, and we get a little scared about that, so we hold back. That wasn't working for me. Yeah.
So you launched a therapy and wellness company or brand, if you will. What made you decide to do that? How difficult was it to start that?
So that was a kind of a few months thought process. I was working for an awesome company called San Antonio Behavioral something, San Antonio.
Okay.
Something.
In that realm.
Yes, I was in another private practice working, and something again came to me. It was like, there's more. You need to do more. You lost your brother. You've always wanted to start a practice. He even wanted to start a practice with me and go back to school and do more of like counseling and mental health stuff.
Right.
And I'm a therapist. My dad's a therapist. He wanted to help. And so I was like, you know what? I'm brave now, and I am just going to quit my job, leave this other job because I was working 2 jobs. And I'm just going to do it. And so I literally Googled how to start a business. I filed for my LLC. I did all the things I was supposed to. I live in Helotes. So in Helotes, my friend, I have a friend that had a business there.
Yeah.
And there was a place that came up for rent. And she was like, it's open. Why don't you talk to the owner? I was like, okay. So I go, and it's this huge space. I just wanted one office for me.
Yeah.
But it was there. So I took it. And I built 3 offices. My dad retired that year, so he came to work for me. And another person that was in the district with me said, I'm done too, let's go do it. And so it went from one solo person, like in a one thought, to like literally overnight, like, okay, I'm building a group practice and I don't even know what I'm doing. And honestly, I still don't think I know what I'm doing.
well.
But we help people, so I mean, I guess I'm doing something.
You get paid to help people, essentially.
Yeah.
Well, you're doing something right, clearly.
Yeah, something's working.
Yeah, something's working. Oh, well, a lot more is working, and we're going to talk about that here when we come back. More to come with Jeanette Lira here on Pickup Lines. Don't go away. All right, back on Pickup Lines with Jeanette Lira here, talking about the first of what became a number of different brands and businesses and everything. Can you describe what you do in 1 or 2 words?
Probably not in 1 or 2, but I might be able to do it in 5.
Okay, go ahead.
So I help people with their mental health. I help counselors try to figure out themselves and become, well, this is more than 5 words. But I help them figure out who they are professionally so they can thrive as well and they can help others. And I'm a teacher. I'm a mother.
Yeah.
I have the JeanetteLira.com kind of encompasses all of it.
Okay.
With the podcast. I'm writing a book this year. Hopefully it'll be out.
Okay, so family life. So
I do.
You're a mother.
I am a mother.
Okay.
I have a 6-year-old.
On top of everything else.
Yeah, the funny thing is I literally got pregnant with him like right in the first year of my business, maybe 2nd year.
Oh my gosh, that's like the degree of difficulty just went way up.
Yeah, for some reason I used to like to do things that are very hard.
Yeah,
it was like the internal like motivation I needed, like a do or die, like you have no choice.
Okay, so then how did having your child change your life or make you a better person, businesswoman, entrepreneur?
He, I guess, inspires me to think bigger, to do more, because I am a single mother right now. He's got a great father. He takes him when he is supposed to.
Right.
Amazing family. But I needed to show him that you're capable of doing more.
Yeah.
And making more and giving back more than what we think we are. Because I didn't know that.
Yeah. You're happy?
Yeah, I am.
What else? Are you missing anything right now?
More traveling. I don't know. I'm convinced that I am looking for a partner too. I am a single mother. I would love to find somebody. But I'm convinced he doesn't live in San Antonio.
Oh, you were thinking like an international?
Possibly.
Oh, okay.
Possibly.
So there are a lot of great guys here in San Antonio.
There are. I just haven't met them yet.
Okay.
Or maybe I have.
Maybe you have. I don't know. or maybe you will.
No. Or maybe I will. Exactly. I mean,
just
putting it out to the world.
This show is called Pickup Lines, but it's not meant to be, a matchmaking show. But if that turns out to be the case, okay. Well,
who knows? Gosh. Maybe he is here.
Maybe we'll look back on this day years from now if you find Mr. Right on here.
Yeah, and it'll be like Ernie was a matchmaker.
Yeah, well, I'll just change the whole format of the show and everything. We'll just have couples now.
Yeah.
But you're still so young. you still, I would imagine, have a lot to offer in terms of the Jeanette Lira brand. I mean, what else? Can you add anything else to your plate right now?
Of course. There's always room, or get another plate, right?
Well, a bigger plate.
A bigger plate.
Yeah.
Currently, this year, I said I was going to work on being in the spotlight, getting on stages, being on people's podcasts, put more people on my podcast to kind of showcase them too. And so I've been doing that. It's been good. I've done a lot of speaking engagements. Next year I actually got picked to speak in Portugal, so I'm gonna be an international speaker, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. When you speak, and I know there's videos and stuff online of you doing that, do you have a general message, or if you were to give your little TED talk right here, I mean, what is the topic or the tone of what you try to impart on people?
In a nutshell, we are made of so many different pieces, and a lot of times we don't even know what the pieces are or where they are. It's almost like the puzzle, right? The jigsaw puzzle. You start with the little ones that like are tiny in the wood, right, when you're little, and then you collect all these pieces and you go through life, and then one day you might get super excited to start like the big jigsaw puzzle, that like 1,000-piece puzzle. Like the pieces are like that big, and they're
looks impossible.
Exactly. So life is like a puzzle. We have all these pieces, and there we go through stages on putting the puzzle together. We open the box, we pick the puzzle, we have to flip them all over, have strategy about it, and so that's what life is. Life is a journey, and I help people understand all of their pieces and help them put them together so that they understand it and they're able to step into the role of who they want to be versus what we were given at birth.
I see. I know you've talked openly about being a proud Latina woman.
Yes.
You take that very seriously. Is your clientele primarily women, primarily Latina, or is it a variety?
It's a variety. So I do still see clients. I always told myself I refuse to stop seeing clients, even if I got too big, because it's just a passion of mine and I love it. But the majority of them are probably young adults to older adults that are male, female, of all different races.
I feel like so much more emphasis now on mental health. It's so much more, it's less taboo. It's not frowned upon to talk about it or to admit that you've sought help or need help, those kinds of, I mean, am I onto something there?
Yeah. I mean, I love that. It still needs to grow, and people need to understand what it is. I think a lot of people are going towards coaching, and it's great. I coach too. I have a coach of myself and a therapist too. But that therapy part is that piece that the coaching misses. It allows you to go like to that under layer to figure it all out and understand it all so that you can actually do something with it. And the coaching is like, it works.
So is the coaching like more on the surface and the therapy is like the underlayer. The layers?
Yeah. But I do think it's trendy now to have a therapist. I think on TikTok it trends.
Oh, I don't doubt it. I'm not on TikTok as much as probably the average person, but I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah, I have one. I'm not sure how to use it though.
Well, I have one because I have 3 teenagers, and I just want to,
spy on them.
Don't tell them that I said that, but nonetheless. A couple more minutes here with Jeanette Lira. By the way, her website is Jeanette Lira, Lira, JeanetteLira.com. You can find out all the resources and more about the brand and everything that she's done. And I wonder what your late brother would think about all of this and what you've done and how you've turned it around.
I think he would be proud. I think he'd be excited, and he'd probably want to hype it up and like put it all over the place, and then probably say that it was his idea.
Oh, and take credit for it all.
Yeah.
Like I said, I did know him, and he was quite a character, and I'd like to think he's smiling down on you and everything right now. Yeah. So what's next?
What is next? Well, today I'm gonna go check into a hotel here in San Antonio and do a staycation, because those are important. Self-care, right?
Well, you know what? It's interesting that you bring that up, because I'm certainly guilty of this. We don't always put ourselves, or maybe you do, but I certainly don't put myself
we typically
first, or as often as I probably should.
And that is one thing that I've learned to do, because I never did before.
Yeah.
If we don't care for us and our peace, then how are you gonna do anything?
Yeah.
Or go anywhere?
Well, it's a remarkable story. I know you've been through a lot in the last dozen years, and it's so great to see you come out on the other side. And I feel like you're still on this upward trajectory.
Always. It's always up.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, the sky's the limit. And that's one thing that I'm grateful that I learned, that just the 9 to 5 is not always like the stopping point.
Right.
Like, it's what can you dream and what do you want and how big are you willing to go and how much risk are you willing to take?
Yeah.
And it's all dependent on us.
Good for you. Well, here's to many more years of greatness and just growing the Jeanette Lira brand and everything. And I appreciate you being here and being open about your journey and everything.
Absolutely.
There you have it. Congratulations. All right. JeanetteLira.com is the website to find out more, or you can follow her on your favorite social media platform. So there you have it. Another episode of Pickup Lines. Again, you never know who's going to be in the passenger seat or what they're going to have to say, but we always appreciate the storytelling and just the candidness and the frankness and the honesty. And we'll do it again very soon. So until next time, I'm Ernie Zuniga. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you.